What's up, guys? It's another episode of NukeStream. Let me know if you guys can hear me well. Um, I'm glad to be here. Today, we're going to talk about an interesting phenomenon um, called, women. I call it women playing house, right? And just an interesting new development, a new kind of one of the new phenomena you see in how men and women go in relationships and stuff like that. I want you guys to give you kind of like a heads up in terms of what could be happening and how I deal with this and all that stuff. So welcome everyone to the Nuke Stream. So uh, you guys know where to find me. I'll put the link tree in the chat. nuclearcaudillo on Patreon, Instagram, and Twitch, and then YouTube and Twitter is Caudillo Nuclear. If you guys aren't already following me on those platforms, go ahead. Sure, why not? The chat's open for Patreon. I have not visited today for the subscribers that are wondering where I'm at. I have been very busy today, so I will check it after the show and all that stuff. But yeah, and then guys, I got shows Tuesdays and Thursdays, 7 p.m. Central. That's 8 p.m. Eastern and 5 p.m. Pacific, right? And then I don't know what time that is in Europe, so whatever it's on in Europe. And then on top of that, I have Rule Zero on Saturday, followed by the Dragons, and then Post Zero on Sunday, right? And yeah, those are my shows, and feel free, guys, to check in on any of those shows and whatever, and feel free to ask your questions, right? Like this is the best. I know I get DMs and stuff like that, but the best place to ask questions is when I'm doing a live stream, guys. I can't open my phone at all times of the day and type out the solutions to your problems, right? But it's easier for me on a stream to blab out and give you guys some kind of insight, right? I have no problem doing that, but DMs, if I were to answer DMs, I'd never get done. I'd be, typing all day. But anyways, guys, thank you for being here. We got some familiar faces in the chat. We have Bruno. How you doing, sir? We got Godspeed. And we got Matthew W. Spirit of Machine. I think I've seen you before, but I'm not sure. I have not seen you around. Maybe I have, or maybe you're new or something, but welcome. But all right, let's get down to business. One of the big things that we talk about, especially now in the more modern age of dating, is how women, they say they want a man, but they don't need a man. Um, and they'll say this in different ways, or they'll act it out in different ways, right? Like women will get full on careers. They'll do lots of things in order to avoid being saddled with the faithful beta, right? Um, Women will go great lengths to not have to deal with that, to at least in their perspective, right? Um, we've seen women go to universities and get college degrees just so they don't have to depend off men, right? Um, we've seen them go into certain careers or industries that are bad for them, you know, or whether it be a corporate career or an adult film industry, in order to avoid depending on men, right? They'd rather put their lives through the ringer and their mental health through the ringer than settle down with the average guy, right? Um, so the usually the red pill discussion ends there, right? Like women would rather um, work, get go into debt, make do all these things instead of be with the average guy, right? Because that's their biggest fear, is to be with the guy that they settled for, right? Until they get to that certain age where they're just like, crap, I got to settle down now, so anyone will do, right? But while they're in their best years, their peak years, they wouldn't be caught dead um, trying to saddle with an average guy, unless there was a lot of societal or religious pressure, or they did it with a guy that really was there since they wanted. They don't know anything else, whatever reason, right? But for the most part, um, yeah, that's what's going on. But the red pill discussion stops there. Hey, we got Chad Elkins in the chat. How you doing, sir? Nice to see you. Now another busy tax season, I presume. But yes, uh, so the step beyond this, right, is like how are women going about relationships now that no guy is seemingly good enough for them, right? They always have that, it's just a paradox of choice. What if this guy's not the one? What if there's another guy waiting for me, right? And now women are bombarded with thousands of messages per month, and thousands of tokens of attention, whether it be a simple like, a couple hundred views on a video or picture showing skin and all that, right? Or it could be just a compliment, being approached, an extra long stare from a guy from the gym. It's damn near constant, right? Extra attention from coworkers, and it's to the point where women, one of the biggest complaints I hear women about dating apps, whether it be true or not, is that it's just too much. It's too much matches, too much messages, too much attention, right? Wow, it's like what a problem to have, right? But uh, essentially, what ends up happening is that women eventually kind of picked up that there is no urgency for them, right? At least that's what they think. That they have so much abundance that there is no reason for them to think that they can't get the guy they want, because there's just simply so much choice and so much power and so much guys throwing themselves at them, right? So they never feel like it's ever going to be over. They just have so much. The sad part of this is that women notice really small changes in their life, especially attention from men, right? So if a girl's getting 100% attention until she's 27, and then when she's 28 and 29 and 30, that 5% less attention is really, it's very noticeable for her, right? So they can, let's say in my life, let's say a girl goes to salsa or bachata night every Friday or Wednesday, and when she goes to the bachata night or something, she notices that over the last 2 years, she's not asked to dance as much, right? Like maybe one dance, she dances with one guy less, right? Guys are, they go for the younger, the new girl, whatever, right? And maybe she's like, whatever, like maybe it's for the best because I'm tired. And then she realizes that guys are not buying her less drinks, right? But very gradual, right? And then she notices that, maybe her young friend that she met at work is having guys do crazy things for her, but not, there's no guy trying to do crazy thing like fly her out or anything like that. Like she's just, she's kind of in this like, wait a minute, I'm not getting what I need, and like I'm not getting the same, even though she's still getting an amazing amount of attention. She's slowly realizing it's like 5 or 10% less than it was 2 years ago or 3 years ago, right? So what ends up happening is that women get a little worried. They're just like, fuck, well, what do I do? Like, I have to do something, right? So they got to follow their feelings. So they just say it. They just say, hey, I am worthy of more attention. And it doesn't matter if I'm getting old, right? And they just say that when women say that, it's basically they're saying the opposite is true, right? Like, I am getting old and I'm getting less attention. So, and women don't handle that well at all. At any level, whether it be your local girl that and her maybe getting bitchy and angry that no guy has, shacked up or locked her down yet, or maybe it's like Britney Spears, who went from being one of the most known and desired and prolific artists of our time to being a wacko now that dances around in circles on Instagram, and no one cares to be like, hey, like you should go to therapy. You shouldn't be doing this. Um, women don't um, women don't handle that decrease in attention very well. They have to do a lot of they have to jump through a lot of hoops, and it doesn't affect them well, right? But I digress. Let's see. Spirit of the Machine. I'm thinking about joining your Patreon. I have a lot of work to do on myself and need touch grass advice. What's going on there? I just have a couple articles. I got to write more articles. I've been lazy, and then I have a chat where you guys can go in and talk about whatever. If you want to talk about your problems, something you want to say, text to a girl. I check it twice a day. I haven't checked it lately because I've been busy working. I worked last night and all that stuff, but essentially it's $5 a month. You get that, and then I'm thinking of doing seminars soon, like really things that could help, like very practical stuff, like logistics seminars, what shit test seminars, stuff that'll really help you guys out. Not waste your guys' time because your guys' time is valuable. I don't want to just shit test seminar. Oh, sorry, my phone went off. Um, so that's basically what I offer. It's only $5 a month. Some guys just sign up to support, but yeah. So yeah, join the Patreon. I recommend it. Have some good articles in there. Um, Anyways, so I digress. I talked about the wall and all that stuff, right? But anyways, in short, women aren't settling, women aren't getting into relationships, women aren't getting married. All the data shows this. Women aren't staying married. No one's staying married, and no one's getting married, right? Um, so everyone has these little theories about it, like, oh, obviously the long house will always say it's men's fault, right? And the guys are just like, hey, like now the government is ensuring that me and you make the same amount of money and are the same level socioeconomically. So now that we're on the same level, you want to date? No, you don't make enough money. And then they'll meet a guy that's at their level and they'll be like, hey, that's not fair. This guy's making more money than me. Government, like the whole math thing that he says. That's kind of an oversimplified version of it, but basically what happens is women have flat out, with the help of the government, incentives, and whatever institutions, policies, or whatever, absolutely are crushing the workforce. Not in terms of competence, but in terms of just there. Um, and there are ladies that are competent, but there's a lot of women that get jobs that don't mean anything, right? Women are a net negative on on the GDP, on the economy, right? They don't really contribute much. They're just there because we have to, it's because it's the right thing to do. So essentially, now we're in this place where, like, okay, um, we can no longer provide the things that we used to have to be able to provide as a man, right? I can't provide you, at least that's what you think, um, financial security, right? Because you don't need that from me, right? You've been completely emancipated from men, meaning that now that you're emancipated from men, you don't need me to provide. So the beta provisioning side of a relationship is 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 no longer needed, right? And this is what a lot of guys struggle with, especially the guys that are unplugging, where it's just like, wait, I did everything I was supposed to. I got a job, I got the house, the car, and I proved to society that I was competent. Why won't girls like me? Well, that's because the part of the equation that girls needed you for, the beta buck side, the comfort, the provisioning, and all that stuff, is already taken care of, whether it be by her, the government, or through third parties like simps. So she no longer needs that at all from you. It gets a little bit weird because now we still have to pay for dates, and we're still, the court system, legal system, and the court of public opinion all require men to step up financially still, right? So girls can go out there and have fun and do things like have unprotected sex, but if there's a baby born, now it becomes back to the archaic way of thinking about men and women's relationships, right? So essentially, we're at this point where men and women are kind of adapting to this outdated technology that is marriage, and trying to just saying, hey, this isn't it, this isn't. So as a guy, how do you deal with that? How do you go about a life where you realize, like, the opposite sex doesn't need you for anything except for genetic material and fun and excitement, right? So what do you do? What is the manifestation of that now, right? A lot of guys don't know. They're just like, well, yeah, if I can't provide being a good guy and a house and safety and being a good dad, then what should I provide, right? And the way a lot of guys are, I'm not going to talk about the guy side now. The way a lot of guys are adapting to this is a lot of guys are quitting altogether. They're finding other ways to take care of their reproductive problem, whether it be adult movies, whether it be sugar, or whether it be simply just not doing, like, just or just settling with any chick that will say yes to them, right? And that's pretty common too. Uh, so they can get sex, right? Those are all strategies men have right now for their reproductive problem. In terms of women, though, this is what we're this is what we're gonna really talk about, is that women now are are the way they go about it now that they don't need men for anything is that they're looking for purely exciting guys, right? It could be anything from um you know, the guy that's maybe rich but like, is clouded. It could be a guy that simply is charming, has game. It could be a guy that simply is, in a position in life or in a special place in life where they can provide them lots of fun. Maybe a guy that owns a yacht, or maybe a guy that's an athlete, or maybe a blue check, or whatever version of what she sees as an exciting guy um is. So they have this, let's say a girl does meet a guy, and she does have this fear that is this guy the best I can do. Most of the time the answer is yes, right? And that's the kind of elephant in the room that no one wants to talk about, especially when we're talking about women's dating habits, is that most of the guys she meets and dates seriously are good enough, if not better than she thinks, right? Remember, she has unlimited opportunity to access to other men. What she doesn't have unlimited opportunity for is time, because she's gonna lose physical attraction, and also be less likable over time. And also, none of those men are willing to commit to her or even like her that much. So essentially, it all boils down to, hey, um, this is what's going on. I'm a woman. I need fun and excitement and all that, but we didn't account, and this is where the red pill kind of discussion stops. We didn't account with the basic biological needs that women have and men to cooperate and to uh, do things service of others. Right? If you guys notice, the most miserable people are people that never help or never cooperate or aren't on a team or anything like that with other people. Right? Everyone needs to cooperate with someone else to do something. Humans, our brains are made to do that, right? As guys, have you guys ever gotten together and done something together with your boys? It's like dopamine flush. Like, have you guys ever gotten together to go work on your boy's car, or play sport, pick up basketball, or whatever? It's like a flush of dopamine for the rest of the night. Like, it's better than any drug. And for girls in relationships, uh, believe it or not, guys, girls feel really good when they do things for guys that they like. It makes them feel good, right? Sometimes they don't always get the appreciation they need, but girls enjoy doing things for men. And I know a lot of you guys in the chat, or like sometimes you look at these shows or Twitter posts where girls and guys are saying that like women shouldn't do shit for men, and but like deep down, like most women need to do stuff for men. Like it's a need. They need to cooperate. They need to feel useful, right? If you don't believe me, take a girl on a road trip, right? And tell her, hey, I'm in charge of driving. You're in charge of music and snacks and this and that or whatever, right? And she'll be ecstatic. She's like, all right, I got you. Like I will step up, um, and girls need to do things for guys, right? Not every guy, not any guy, but a guy that she likes. They'll deny it. They'll say, no, I'm a bad bitch, I don't need to do that, I'm empowered, I don't need to do that. But deep down, women, it doesn't matter their background, they feel good when they do things for guys that they like. It's biology, it's normal, it's probably an evolutionary advantage, and all that. So you as a girl, you're doing this stuff, you're banging this dude, you like him, but here's the issue, right? You have a lot of choice now. Like, if this guy isn't 100% what you want, you can always replace him. That's the perception. Not that it's true, and it most likely isn't, but that's the perception. So, but I need to do things for men, for this guy. Like, I feel good. Also, his floor is dirty. I gotta clean it. I gotta clean up this mess. Or I want to cook. I want to cook for someone besides myself. I want someone to try my recipe. I want someone to try my baking. Oh, I like his dog. I want to take care of his dog. I want to make him happy. Right. Um. So here's the clash. Right. I want to do those things. I like this guy, but I don't want to commit. Right. I don't want to commit to this guy. And this is the phenomenon of today's show, where it's like women playing house, where what I've seen in my own life and other guys talking to other guys is that women come in, they pretend to be your girlfriend for a day. Maybe they come over and they do girlfriend level stuff, and then they leave for a week, and then they never kind of ask you for commitment, or they downright refuse to say, "Hey, I don't want anything serious. I just want this is good what we have." And that can be confusing for a lot of people. You know, um, that could be very confusing for a lot of people that don't understand this level of dating, where you get to a point where you are attractive as a man and are getting that female attention and getting women to do things for you, because you can confuse that with genuine burning desire. Like, genuine burning desire is really close to a girl that just likes doing things for you, right? And that's why we really need to differentiate, right? Because um guys will mistake a girl just coming over giving him a blowjob or cooking him a meal as, yeah, this girl would give it up all for me and do whatever I want. She's, I have her here. I got that deep conversion from her. um but the reality is that now things are changing, right? And this is one of those new age kind of like updates, firmware updates to the red pill. Very little, like there's very little to add to the red pill, but this is like a very small firmware update to the red pill that we can add, and it's just women playing house, right? So essentially, you date this girl, and she comes over. She's hot, and several things will happen. She'll come over. Let's say it's a house stay, like you're not going out, like you're gonna stay inside, right? Let's say you put on some movies, anime, whatever, and you watch it, and there's a sad scene. She cries in front of you and she holds your hand. And then she says, "Hey, do you want anything from the kitchen?" You say, "Can you make me some tea?" And then she makes you tea and all that stuff. And all these things happen. And you're just like, okay, well, man, she really wants to be my girl, right? And you sit down and then you hook up and you have sex, and sex is great. She's very enthusiastic. And then you're just like, wow, like this is great. Like, man, this girl's really into me. And then she stays the night, and then she wakes up and she's like, okay, I gotta go. I got this and that. And you're like, okay, cool. Well, have a nice day. Um, so, anyways, uh, you're just like, okay, cool. Um, Now I just wait. She's gonna come back. She's gonna text me back. One day goes by, 2 days goes by, 3 days go by. And you're just like, wait, hold on. Like, you know, this girl was like doing girlfriend tryouts the other day, but like and then you're just like, well, maybe it was just a one and done, or maybe she was just trying to get back at her boyfriend, all that stuff, right? But now uh she says, hey, let's do this. And you're like, okay, well, I'm free that day. Let's go do it. And then you do it, and then she holds your hand in public, right? She gives you a kiss. She asks you for, like, male affection, right? Like, she'll open her arms and she'll kiss you on the cheek, and then you give her a nice bear hug. Girls like their hugs, right? And she's like, "Oh yes, just what I needed." All these things, right? And you're still like, okay, sure. And then this is gonna repeat. You for one day out of the week, or once every 10 days, or once in a while, she comes over, she does girlfriend level shit, and it throws you off, and then she leaves, and then she comes back, and that so on and so forth. Now, I'm gonna tell you the reasons why, right? Already talked about reasons why women don't want to be in a relationship at all. Right now, we're gonna talk about why women don't want to be in a relationship, but still want to do girlfriend things, right? Like I mentioned before, women and human beings in general have a need to cooperate. They have a need to get all this biology where it tells them to take care of things, right? That has to go somewhere. They can't just be selfish, cloud chasing girl their whole life. There needs to be some level of, I need to take care of something or someone else, which is why women get dogs, right? That's one of the reasons women get dogs, is they need to fulfill that need to nurture. Like, I need to nurture something. I need to take care of something, right? And dogs is a good outlet for that. But sometimes it's not enough. They need what do you call it? They need to do something for a guy they like, right? And they need that feeling of um affection, because life is rough, like for a single girl that's 25, 26, 27, life is rough, like as a guy, you kind of like, we underestimate how good we can handle, like, what do you call it? How good we can handle problems in our life and in situations. Women, a lot of times they crumble. Things get hard for them. So let me catch some of these chats. Oh, we got Big Dame in the house. What's up, sir? Hi, man. How you doing? I'm doing fine. Thank you. Like the video. Yes, guys. Like the video. Had to catch a call and back. All right. No worries, my friend. You can watch whenever you want. Where's the chatters? Yeah, guys, ask questions. Let her rip. We got Dev. What's up, Dev? Hey, new catching live stream after a while. Yeah, glad you're here. Um, Spirit of Machine isn't genuine burn desire just a cope, live happily ever after for red pill guys. Hopeful illusion. Uh, Not exactly. Genuine burning desire is different. I'm going to show you. I'm going to tell you the. Excuse me. I'm going to tell you the definition of genuine burning desire, so you guys can understand it, because these situations will happen, and I don't want you guys to get caught up or catch feelings or think it's okay to like chase a girl down that's doing these things. Right? It can be confusing, but we'll get there. We'll get there. Bobby Peru, damn, I gotta go train, but keep up the good work, sir. Hey man, have a good workout. You can listen to me after you're done, or while you're working out. That's fine too. What would genuine desire be a cope from? Yeah, that's a good question. Cope from accepting that she will never be yours, just your turn. Genuine desire could be full fledged BPD. Ride that bull if you want to. Yeah, that's a different thing, right? Give me 1 second, guys. I'm gonna grab my tea. Give me 1 second. All right, all right. So where were we? so so I was talking about. All right, so the cycle where she comes in, does girlfriend level shit for you, um, and all that, but now it's like, hey, she's doing all these things, but she's not bringing up commitment, right? And eventually you're gonna be like, it's gonna be a month in, 2 months in, 6 months in, who knows? And you're just like, man, this girl doesn't want, it hasn't brought up the question. But I'll ask you this, like, um, it is entirely possible, right? When you're dealing with girls that like to play house and all that stuff, that you are underestimating yourself a lot as a man. You understand me? Um, let's say you've worked on yourself, you're at a level of attraction, you're fit, you have a nice place, you have cool hobbies. She knows that you may or may not be seeing other chicks. You got your life together. Whenever you see her, you have a plan, you dress nice. You're just like this you're like a renaissance man, right? You got your life together. You're a hot guy. Maybe you're a top 10% man, right? Which is not even that hard, but let's say you're there for sure, right? You certainly stand out in most places you go to, either with your charm, presence, or whatever. And a lot of guys will finally start getting girls to like them, right? And this is going to Fred's story. For you guys that don't haven't heard about Fred's story, we'll talk about that too. Um, so you get to this point, right, where you're just like, okay, girls are coming over. Girls are saying yes when I invite them over. I'm having sex. I'm enjoying my life. I'm got a little rotation. I'm spinning plates. But there's just one girl that just keeps doing stuff for me beyond sex, and it's like, okay, what do I do now? She's not bringing up commitment, but we're doing girlfriend level shit. So why I say you might be estimating yourself? She could be so into the fact that you have your life together, right? That you have game, and also that you don't sexually judge her, that she can't help but come back to you over and over again. And because she's coming back to you over and over again, you may be giving her something that other men can't give you. I just called a female friend of mine and I asked her all these questions. And, obviously women aren't going to be super straight with you, but, I could read between the lines when women talk to me. So she basically says a lot of the times men are so well put together and they're always saying the right things that it just puts you in a state of comfort so much that when you're coming over to a nice smelling clean apartment, they can't help but unlock that side of their like femininity, which is serving, being serving to others, right? And they can't help it. right? And it's not like they get addicted to it, but they feel that like kind of like comfort and they can relax around you. You know, like those TikToks where girls say they can turn their brain off. They want a boyfriend or a guy they can turn their brain off around. That's what happens, right? So you worked your 20 all your 20s to become more attractive, learn game, learn how to plan dates, learn how to dress, do all these things, have a good job, and you're finally in your mid 30s, early to mid 30s, and you're finally hitting your stride, and you just have a lot of things that are very rare, right? The whole internet is saying that you're just a average loser because you don't have a blue check on Instagram and are a pseudo celebrity on the internet, that you're not ever going to get hot chicks, right? But you got one chick and you really provided what one of the most rare qualities at all of all, which is being him, right? Being the Renaissance man that has it all together, right? But on the flip side of that, and pay attention, guys, a lot of women see that and they're just like, this guy has a lot of requirements. I can tell. Look at his life. He makes good money. He's probably good with money. He is, let's say you guys are really good in bed. Like this guy, he makes me orgasm 4 times every time, right? And he's not even tired because maybe you're fit or something like that. And then maybe one day she saw a tuft of hair in your trash from another girl. She's like, fuck it. And then I got to compete with these other girls. And then maybe one day, you go out and she sees how other girls look at you and treat you, right? And she likes the idea of being with you in that moment, right? But she also thinks to herself, I have all this freedom. If I get with this guy, it's going to be stressful because women's number one fear in relationships, right? Isn't that men will hurt them? That's just something they say so they can be a victim. Their number one fear is male expectation. That's what they're running from, right? That's what women hate the most about men is that we have expectations of them, right? They hate the fact, like bring up any argument about the girls' night out or the Miami trip, the famed Miami trip or a New York trip that guys talk about on podcasts, and look at how the women react. It's like they go into defense mode, not because they'll in their mind they're gonna go do host shit. That's like a more decision of a spur of the moment decision thing, right? It's because there is a man in front of her telling her that men have requirements of her. And she's worked so hard her whole life to free herself because, feminism and all that stuff, to free herself from male expectations. And she's been taught that she is good enough, that she is just being herself should be enough. She doesn't have to step up in a relationship. She doesn't have to mold herself to a guy, right? And that is the biggest disconnect between women that are in relationships and women that are not, right? So this girl that's coming over and having fun and holding your hand and making you food and baking you stuff and bringing you candy and all that stuff, she feels comfortable. She likes you. She thinks you're hot, you know? She can go to your apartment and walk around naked because she feels like I can be my normal slutty self, right? But she knows that if she were ever to chase you down and hold you down for a relationship, that there would be a lot of rules and boundaries, right? And then she has to make a decision, right? Hey, do I give up this guy and go have fun with my girls and not worry? And I'll definitely found I could just keep having sex with him and get this feeling of that I'm the girlfriend experience. He can give me the girlfriend experience temporarily, and I can get that kind of like, it's like almost like porn for men. It's like uh, a watered down experience of the real thing, right? Or I can be his girlfriend, and he's gonna be like, no girls trips, no this, no that. I also gotta compete with other girls. He's gonna have other girls all over him all the time, right? Whatever it may be, right? Sometimes girls overestimate that. Like, I don't go to the store and I'm like fighting off women. No, no, I like maybe one girl will smile, but that's it. Um, so you gotta think about that, right? So girls have like when you put two and two together, girls need to do things for people. They need to nurture. It's a need. That's why they adopt dogs. That's why dogs are incredibly popular among women. But also, they have a need to be free, right? Um, so, and you as an attractive guy, you provide those things because you're spinning plates. You're not requiring women to be in relationships with you at all, right? But also, you're kind of giving her the freedom to choose herself whether she wants to be with you or not. Um, completely. You're just like, hey, we're gonna keep doing this until you leave, right? If you want to stay, if you want me to not only see you, then these are the rules. That's what they're running from. So once you, as a guy, you provide both of those things, she is getting what she wants out of you, which is the feeling of freedom, meaning I can leave at any moment and this guy will not be mad. He won't like text me, he won't chase me down, he won't be jealous or anything like that. And also, when I come over, he treats me like a girl. He gives me that comfort, right? Because women can go out and smash dudes. Sex is nothing to women at all. Like Patrice O'Neill said, dick means nothing to them. Dick means absolutely nothing, right? They can go like right now. Any girl can text. We'll have a guy at their house in 15 minutes, right? But but for them, it's more than just sex. It's, hey, a guy that understands my body, a guy that knows how to pass my little shit test, a guy that listens to me, a guy, all these things, right? And when you overdo that and you overkill, she's gonna be like, shit, well, like he gives me good sex and I like him. It's too stressful to be in a relationship. So how about this? I'll negotiate with myself. I'll let myself be soft and feminine around him one time, once in a while, like once a week maybe. And then when I'm done, I can go back to my whole lifestyle, right? Where I can shake my ass at clubs, twerk, and lead on guys. And eventually, what happens is, here's another reason why women kind of like this is that, okay, hey, it's time. I found a guy, right? He's not too perfect. He's not too fit. He's like my level. He's not he's not like everywhere I go, girls are just like kind of like checking him out or something like that, right? I found a guy on my level, and they hook up and they start seeing each other, and then you're out of the picture completely, right? And this is the problem with Fred's story, right? Fred, I don't know if you guys heard, is from, I think, I don't know where the story came from. I just read it in Aaron Clary's book, um, The Menu, right? Great book, by the way. I love that book. Um, where there's this guy that had it all, right? He had a great job, earning six figures. He was jacked. He constantly was hanging out with really hot chicks in his Instagram. He had it all, basically. You know, he was the Chad, right? The proverbial Chad. But he ended his life, right? Sadly. And one of the reasons is because, well, it is said is because he could never get a girl to commit to him, right? And so it's sad that a guy with so much potential. It's sad for with when any guy does it, right? But when a guy with so much potential that had seemingly figured out life does that, it shows you the dangers of dealing with these kind of girls, right? And that's why I make these videos so these things don't happen, right? I went through this, right? And I had to really, really dig deep and rip out the last blue pill remnants of my body that were inside my heart, my body, wherever you call it. Because if you don't, guys, you're going to be dealing with chicks that are going to give you everything you've ever wanted in a relationship except commitment, right? They're going to be hot. They're going to say the things you like to say. They're going to enjoy the things you like to enjoy. They're going to give you, and here's the most confusing part, because a lot of guys kind of use sex as their thermometer for a relationship. If sex is good and very enthusiastic, then she's really into me. Like I got her on lock, right? These women are going to be incredibly great in bed, right? And I know there's BPD and there's mental issues, but like that's very rare, right? What most women don't have that, and that's what you're going to get to, right? You're going to be like, well, this girl's doing so many things for me, like I got her, like I got her, she's mine now. But the number one thing you have to understand is that the reasons why, which I just explained, and also that you need to continue spinning plates until the day that she says, hey, what are we? Or, hey, am I your girlfriend now or what? When she starts bringing up commitment, that's when you start entertaining. Oh, and that's when you make your decision, right? But for the most part, I don't care if she's doing all these things for you. You do not start putting her in the relationship box until she brings it up, whether implicitly or explicitly. Do not, right? Because what you're doing now is um you're letting her convince you that you should be the one that she's now the prize, right? Like um she's not qualifying to you. And to guys, man, that's really good qualifying. I can see why. Like, yeah, girl that's consistent sex once a week, comes over, is fun to be around, is a pleasure, right? But for the most part, just be careful, right? Because this is the part where that gets a lot of guys, and it will destroy you. Look what happened to Fred. So be very wary and always adhere and be disciplined, right? Always adhere to this red pill shit. I know it doesn't always make sense, and I know it doesn't always feel good, and I know it feels counterintuitive, right? But there's a reason these things exist. These things are written in blood, sweat, and tears, and sometimes human lives, right? So when I tell you, hey, please don't bring up a relationship, it's because if you get into the paradigm of, well, she's doing all these things for me, she must love me, like, so I should start treating her like a girlfriend, right? What a lot of guys, I know you guys felt this too. When have you guys ever had a girl that does all these things for you, is fun and exciting, loves, likes being around you, and then the moment you start treating her like a girlfriend, like you start treating her like a girlfriend, and you raise the comfort a little higher, she disappears just like that. She's like, ugh, I don't, I like what we had before. This is too much, right? Happens all the time, right? Anyways, let's see if I got any good chats. All right. All right, we said about the sorry. After my divorce, letting women do stuff for me is like a mental block. Very hard to let them do things for me. So just to start letting that control go. Well, dude, you gotta convince yourself that, like I said before, women do not get pleasure from taking things from men. It doesn't make them feel anything. It just makes them more entitled. It doesn't make them horny. It doesn't make them like you more. Them taking from you just makes them feel more entitled, maybe less anxious. But when you ask things for women, they backward rationalize it as, I'm doing this for this guy. This guy must be the shit because I'm doing something for him. It's just how the female brain works. It's backward rationalization, right? You have to you have to do that, because if you don't, you're gonna constantly be in this thing where, I have to be the one to do things for women. No, you right now, I don't know how recent your divorce was. I think right now you're struggling with your self worth because you can't. It's hard for you to believe after society and women and everything had its way with you, that your value, what your value really is, right? Some guys get over this by looking at their calculator, delusion, female delusion calculator, right? Other guys simply kind of like over time see, wait, people respect me at my job. Um, my friends like me, my family likes me. Just because one woman out of the whole world doesn't like me or decide not to be with me anymore, that doesn't determine my value. That would be insane. So, um, right now, your biggest thing you should do is like, hey, you need to convince yourself that you're the prize, even if the whole world is telling you that you're not, because you are, right? You are valuable. You do bring things to the table, and just because one woman can't see that doesn't mean anything. A lot of women can't see what you really are. They can't tell, or they don't want to know, or whatever. But yeah, it's not wrong, but be aware that things like, okay, just give them random tests and start annoying you. Yeah. I need my pens color coded, please. That's hilarious. Good one, good one. Uh, they women hate to be pinned down to a center. Yeah, they hate, their biggest fear in relationships is, um what do you call it? Is a male expectation. Sorry, male expectation is their biggest fear in relationships. Right, the fact that guys have standards and don't let them do things. Um, you could any girl boss, anything. Their whole thing is that they want to emancipate themselves from the male standards, everything, right? And I have so many theories on this. Like, for example, why do women get super long nails, right? Like, I know that those nails are uncomfortable. I know that they can barely type. How do they hold things? How do they hold their children? How do they cook with these super long nails, right? And to me, it's it's a way to signal to other women that men require very little of them because they're just that amazing, right? Because if a girl has super long nails, that means she's not toiling around the house and cooking and cleaning. That means that she's living a lavish lifestyle that a guy did for her, right? I think that's psychology there. Tell me if I'm wrong, guys. But when a girl has super long nails, it's basically signaling to other women like, I am better than you because I don't have to toil around. My nails, me by me look having long nails means I don't have to do these things for men, which is where like basic household chores, toiling around, working, because men like me that much that they finance me and make my life comfortable. That's what I think is going on there. But that's just a theory of mine. Um, Def KD, men who are put together are a level up like a woman who wouldn't have seen before. Yeah. What they truly hate are the consequences associated with not meeting those standards. Yeah, like so women, they get scared to get in relationships because they simply don't want to meet the standard, right? So when they hear us guys talking about, oh, women are fat, women are this, they get really emotional, right? Because to them, we're just saying a standard, right, that they have to work to meet, you know, and it makes them very uncomfortable, right? One of some of the most viral threads back in the day were these lists of when men said a female should be this, and it'd be like 10 bullet points, and they would go viral. Like, I don't know if you remember Alexandra Cortez. He wrote maybe in 2017 or 2018 a thread on the standards for women, what standards should be for women, and he made the news, right? He made the local news, right? Um, that thread went crazy. So this kind of stuff it affects people, right? Women don't like when men have expectations of them. It makes them feel icky, right? Because that's what feminism promised them. Like they would never have to like rely on a man, therefore they would never have to be at a to meet a man's standards, right? But also they do, right? Because even the most simpy blue pill beta has a level of standard after so long, right? She could be 10 years of the relationship and the guy could be like, hey, you know, you can't do this because I'll lose my mind, right? And even that they don't like. So, um, women who have gotten in relationships and that have big failures and all that stuff, what they do is that now they campaign against men and women that are in relationships or are doing the thing of courting and all that stuff because to them they did submit to some themselves to male expectations, and all they got out of it was like being a single mom or being heartbroken or cheated on or whatever their version of a relationship failure is. And then these women become like rat femmes or hurt women online or e-girls that hate men or whatever, because it's not because they hate men, they hate the fact that men have expectations, right? So they go on campaigns and try to convince as much people as possible, hey, um do this because they're evil, right? They have expectations, right? It's just an emotional response to having failed a man's expectations and being unable to meet them, right? The guys that they like. It's like I tried, I thought I could step up to that level. I failed. It's men's fault because their standards are too high for women, right? Meanwhile, the guys are just like, hey, I could barely get laid. I don't even have my foot in the door to have expectations, right? I'll take whatever I can get, right? And that's just these two people that are talking past each other or talking to a brick wall. They will never see that both sides are wrong. Like it makes no sense. But hey, if you want to be in that loop forever, go ahead by all means. More for me, I guess. Beta provider cleanup guy. Insecurities are a number one demonstration of lower value factor for women in a relationship. Okay. Man, treat them like pet birds, but don't close the cage door or window you sneak. Right. Yes. Actuary for book of number. Hey, I did not know that. I'm so sorry, man. Hey, what's up, Opia? Nice to see you. Never beat yourself up thinking you could have changed your mind. Yeah, that's another thing, guys. Stop fucking blaming yourselves, right? It's you versus every single guy that's in her DMs. And not only that, you're probably better than all of them, but also it's you versus her dumb decision making. Hypergamy is not infallible. Hypergamy makes mistakes all the time. Matter of fact, it's very shoddy now, right? Because um some dork can be banging chicks and only because he has 100K followers on Instagram, but he's a complete dork. And that's why you see these guys end up getting broken up with, even though they have all this fame and clout. It's just like, how? It's just like, yeah, because hypergamy is infallible. Girls don't really think it through. They just like, guy with clout, I won't have sex with him. They don't really think it through, like, hey, this guy can be a complete dork. He's like 24, 25. He probably isn't good at sex, probably has no game. So after a couple times of you sleeping with him and you finally see past the cloud, you'll be like, man, this guy's a weirdo. And then you'll leave and maybe accuse him of me to him or whatever. It always happens, right? Filipino working at CVS. First girl I dated after ending an LTR was a turbo hoe. Gave her that LTR dick and attention. Big mistake. Yeah. I think Mary Red Pill. I think Ryan talks about this, where when you've always been in an LTR, you only know how to treat women as if you were in an LTR, like a relationship, right? So when you get that first girl that's just a fun girl, you treat her like a girlfriend, and you just, you know, don't know. And women that are turbo hoes or whatever, they hate that. It repels them, right? So what I'm saying is, you always act like you're the fun guy until the day she says, "Hey, what are we? I kind of like you." What, and then you can make your decision. Then you can be like, "You know what? We can try it. Let's try a relationship and all that." So, yeah. Dev KD. I know you say relationship is her problem, but what if she's waiting for you to make a move and you really like her too? Okay, this is a good question because sometimes women are the women have this belief that um they have to be the ones to, or sorry, the men have to be the ones to initiate the relationship, right? Most of the time, it's going to be the woman asking you, "Hey, what are we?" and all that stuff, right? But for the most part, let's say she's doing all the things that I said, right? Here's two things that you have to look at, right? And they're not infallible. Is she fighting for your time, right? Is she fighting for your time, right? If you hooked up with her on Tuesday, had a good day, and then on Thursday she's like, "Hey, can I see you again today? Like, I need to see you." She's fighting for your time. Then maybe it's like, okay, now give it a month or two, right, of hooking up and doing this. And if she's still fighting for your time, then I would say bring it up, right? And I need you to not do it in a supplicating manner. Just be like, "Hey, like, you wanna you want something more serious, or are you cool with what we have?" Like, very nonchalant, right? And she'll tell you. And she'll tell you right then and there, right? Women will tell you, right? Um, you know, that's the best you got. It's not infallible. They may be like, "Hell no, I don't want anything. I like what we have now." You're like, "Okay, cool," and then never bring it up again. Um, but the relationship is her problem, not in the only in the sense that she's the one that has to initiate the relationship, but also in to the effect that she's qualifying for your relationship and commitment, right? She has to qualify for your commitment because sex is hard to get for men, right? And you did the effort necessary. You proved the most important thing in a relationship, which is the arousal, the alpha side. You got her. You had sex with her multiple times, and she wants you sexually. So, um, you holding back and not um being the one to ask for a relationship, essentially you're communicating to her with your actions by "Hey, I'm the prize here. You're gonna have to work to get in my life, right? If you don't want to, then that's fine. Then you can be the woman playing house. You can come over. We could play boyfriend and girlfriend, then leave, right?" All right. Uh, All right. Some women want to feel the instincts of nurturing girlfriend boyfriend activities without having an actual relationship. Yeah, it's just it feels good. Like think of it as a and put yourself in a girl's shoes. Like I need to feel something, and I need to feel like I have a certain level of connection with somebody. And I can go out and meet different men, but a lot of them aren't dorks, or I'm not familiar in this guy. I know him, I know his body, I know his dick, I know how to make him feel good. He knows how to make me feel good. It's like a lot of things, and I like women don't need variety like men do, right? Stop thinking that women are like us. We could see three girls in a week and we're fine. Like girls, they can't. A lot of them say they can and they will for short periods, but for the most part, they can fight it all they want, but they really need that comfort and familiarity with one guy, at a time. So if they can do that, um, they'll do it with a guy. But also, the fear of missing out, the FOMO from their lifestyle. It's hard for a 23-year-old girl to settle, right? Because you're getting offers to do lots of fun, exciting things from fun, exciting men, and you're gonna give that up for some guy that, like, yeah, he's hot, but like what if there's someone hotter? What if there's a more? I don't want to, and then women are hurt too. Like they, again, like they gave it all, they're all in a relationship, at least to them. Maybe they just existed in a relationship, but to them they gave it their all, and then they're like, I'm never doing that again, that sucked. And then they're like, well, I still need to be cutesy and feminine, and turn my brain off with the guy once in a while. So what I'll do is, hey, I'm going to pretend to be this guy's girlfriend once in a while. We'll get our rocks off, and then I'll leave, and I can go back to my life. He doesn't judge me. I don't judge him. He doesn't chase me down. He gives me the freedom I need. So they have those nails so they match the cars they smell of. That's funny. Opium tails. You're correct. It's the modern day Chinese foot bunny. I knew opium. You would see it my way. It's the same concept as when in China they deformed their own feet to the point they couldn't even walk. Yeah, it's like they're just, yeah, it's a status symbol. Like, hey, I don't have to do shit because men provide for me. That's why I can have these long nails and you can't. Um, and all that. Funny now that we kind of see it as ghetto, but yeah, that's how ghetto women signal to each other that shit. But hey, we got extra. How you doing, my friend? It's possible, man. But I was a one parent child with just mother. She grew natural long nails as she liked to do it. Right. Yeah, but I'm talking about the really long ones, those super ghetto ones where they're like doing like this, and they type and they can't even hold stuff. They gotta hold it like this because they don't want, and then they break a nail and it's just like, fuck, I gotta go run to the nail salon or whatever. But she worked hard for me. Well, I'm glad she did. Hey, it's Marty. What's up, Marty? Hurt women, hurt other women. Yes. Pre-selection is a cheat code I used to my advantage many times over my life. Yeah, it's easy. It's literally, it's just passive. It's passive income. You go to sleep, you wake up, you made some money. As a guy, you go to a place, girls like you, you got some numbers. You didn't have to do anything. So there you got. What's up, Alpha? What's going on, my friend? Tons of money on hairs, nails, baby Jordans. Yeah. Um, but anyways, guys, yes. So male expectation is the biggest fear here, and women are finding ways around it. Right? Human beings are very pragmatic, although it may not seem uh, here on ground level. But if you step back and look at the whole picture of how men and women are going about this dating stuff, right? It's very logical. It makes a lot of logical sense, which is a good thing, meaning that we're responding to the new dating pressures in the new environment with logic, right? Even though people say women aren't logical, but we're kind of, both men and women are responding to this in a logical way, right? Now, is it the best way? No, but it is logical. So again, when you think of a girl that is terrified of male expectations because she's um, tried to meet them and it ruined her life to her, like rat femmes or stuff like that, and they've got their heart broken, right? And women, especially women with ego, once they get their heart broken, it's like I got my heart broken. Why did I get my heart broken? I'm so amazing. It's because all men are trash and they're not worth it. And they get this ego. It's because they had a huge ego about love and their entitlement to love, right? So, um, as a woman, you need to nurture, right? You either get a dog or you get a man to take care of once in a while. That way you can get it out of your system, right? Um, I know you guys have had girls that you weren't in relationships with, but like the moment you got sick or you needed something or a favor, they were there, right? And it is a very weird part of dating is that when you have girls that you casually see that want to do things for you beyond just a date, it becomes a little weird. But for the most part, yeah, that's women's need. Human beings need to cooperate, and it makes them feel good when they cooperate and are appreciated, right? And also, you need to understand too that as a guy, this doesn't mean that you should let up, right? You shouldn't up the comfort, right? The comfort comes when she earns it, right? And I know, oh well, she is earning it. I'm like, yeah, but like, think about this, guys. Is she seeing other guys? Maybe. And to answer the genuine desire question, I'm gonna answer it now. You only let up on the comfort when she has gone out of her way to prove to you, to make sure that you know that she's not seeing anyone else. That is genuine desire. Women will come over and fuck you really well and then bring you tea or coffee and massage your feet, and they will leave your apartment and they will fuck another dude in 2 days. And there you are thinking, oh, I got her. She mine. Like, I got her on lock. And then you go on Twitter and brag, right? That I got this chick on lock, right? That doesn't mean anything in 2024. We need to update our firmware. This is what would mean. Here's an example. Hey, so when are you going on your Miami trip? I know we talked about it when we first met. Oh, I canceled it. I'd rather hang out with you. That is genuine burning desire, right? She has decided to change her whole her all her actions and her behavior in order to show you and to make sure that you know that there's no other men. And that's it. That's genuine burning desire. Any behavior that goes out of her way to prove that, right? A girl that's giving you a blowjob can totally give another guy a blowjob the next day or the same day or 2 days from now, right? Do not ever get in your ego because a girl is doing nice things for you. That does not mean shit, right? Only respond when she does things to make sure that there's no other men. That is genuine burning desire, right? Um, because for her, getting other men is so easy that just because she's saying it doesn't mean anything. Just because she's handing you a coffee or rubbing your feet, she could totally do that for the next guy. Maybe it could be who she is. But when she is constantly fighting for your time, right? When she is canceling trips with her friends, right? When she no longer goes out anymore because when she is actively in your DMs all the time, messages you right away. These things add up, and you can be like, okay, I think this girl really likes me. I know that it sounds like I'm a little cynical and I'm a little guarded, but guys, this is 2024, right? You don't want to be caught in a situation where you got a good thing going for you, right? A girl that comes over, does all these things, acts like your girlfriend, and sex is good, and she leaves, and then you get into your feels and ruin a good thing, right? A lot of guys wish they had that. So don't ruin it. Don't get feelings for a girl. Don't open your heart to a girl until she goes out of her way to prove that, like, yep, there's no other guys. It's you. That's genuine desire, right? It's not because she likes doing things for you, man. There's plenty of women that like to come over and give guys blowjobs and then leave. They just like it. Um, but there's very few girls that will be like, "Hey, I'm going to make sure that this guy understands that there is no chance I'm seeing any other guys. I'll do anything it takes to prove that to him." Right? Like for example, they'll show you your phone, their phone, right? They'll show you her DMs, right? They'll cancel Miami trips. They will, um, there's a list of things that you have to, as a man, feel like there's nothing to worry about, right? There's like, hey, there's no way this guy. I mean, she's wanted to see me every single day. She's used some excuse to come see me every single day, and I don't have enough time to even see her, right? Um, I might be the only guy she's seeing right now, you know. And there's always a chance that you could be duped, right? Some girls are good at what they do, but that's it, guys. So, uh, watched a guy post a picture of him in a play he was seeing as his profile picture. Oh God, not this one. Way too soon. Him pushing for a relationship, mate guarding, pushed her away, and he lost a girl who was into it. Exactly, right? Like you can't just don't let your guard down until you feel like she is going out of her way to prove this to you, right? Like for example, I would say a love letter. She delivers a love letter to you, like, hey, read this love letter. I wrote you a love letter. That's, you know, that's a pretty big thing. A blowjob doesn't mean anything, right? A love letter, yes. A canceling of a trip with her girls, yes. Her not going out with her girls anymore at night, yes. And let's say it's very early in a relationship and she does go out with her girls. And you're just like, whatever, I don't know her that well yet. I'm not her boyfriend. She can do whatever. I don't care. I got other plates and other things to worry about. And then she FaceTimes you Friday at 10 p.m. You're just like, hey, why aren't you all having fun? She's like, I don't know. I just thinking of you. I wanted to FaceTime you. And I'm like, okay, well, cool. Now if she's your girlfriend and she's doing that, she'd be a little worried, right? But like if you just met, but that's like um that's these are the things, right? There is a war right now for your mind where women are trying to convince you that them doing certain things is that they care about you, right? Trust me, we're not that stupid. You're not that stupid. We need to smarten up, right? This is life or death. You don't want to end up like Fred. You don't want to end up like me a couple years ago where I thought a girl giving me her all was like, you know, genuine burning desire, which in reality it wasn't. So just be careful out there. Assess, slow down, have some discipline. Think, is this girl just playing house because she wants the feeling of playing house? She wants to be able to tell her guys that, she got her back blown out the other night by you so she can brag to her friends, you know? Or is she doing everything absolutely possible to um to convince you that there's no other guy? Those are questions you got to ask yourself, right? It's a war out there. It's great. Um it's it's not fair, right? I would like for when women do nice things for me, it would mean that they want to be with me, but that's not always the case. I want it to be simple, but it's not always the case, right? Just be careful, Keep that guard up. Keep that pin pan strong. Keep that guard up. When I say pimp hand, don't that doesn't hurt women, but like like keep your guard up. Um, and you'll see that in time, eventually you'll be able to sense the difference, and it takes time. And usually it's your ego that's in the way because to you you're just like, oh well, she's doing all these things. I'm the man. I'm the shit. I got girls cooking for me. It's like no, dude, that doesn't mean shit. You know. So yeah, that's all I got, guys. Anyways, thanks for the show. You guys were great. I don't get it. Well, bro, you got to watch the video a couple times then. Canceling her Miami trip is such great framework. Yep. Yes, it is, my friend. It's like it's much bigger than just a blowjob, right? Because any girl can come in and give you a blowjob and just fuck off and go see other guy. Right? When a girl tells you I canceled my Miami or my New York or my Amsterdam or whatever place trip for you in even in an indirect way, you know that she's like, yeah, I'm you're the guy. you're him. Like, I'm done. I'm done looking. You're the guy, right? So, I just came back from a Magic the Gathering tourney. My deck stalled. Damn. Well, glad you have fun, man. That sounds kind of fun. They have a big original cast of Yu-Gi-Oh meetup in San Antonio later, I think in March or April. So, yeah, I don't know if it might be too far for me. So, bye, new good night. Yeah, thanks, guys. That's all I have. You guys follow the Patreon. It's only $5 a month. I post articles. There's like 10 articles in there. Everything from how to take better pictures to like mindset stuff to the best locations for dating. Very practical stuff. I'm not there to waste your time. The articles are all like 500 words, nothing too crazy. And there's a chat in there if you guys just want to chat and stuff. I'll talk about anything, anime, sports, girls. And if you guys have any specific problem, you guys can put it in the chat and I'll see it. Right. The only thing is that the chat doesn't work on desktop, so I can't type. I'm not gonna be able to type so much, but I can give you good, concise stuff. So yeah, join the Patreon and stuff like that. And then like and subscribe if you haven't already. The video. Leave a comment below afterwards if you guys have any ideas for shows or any other questions about this topic. Follow me on Twitter. Twitter's fun. Um, and all that. It's been a year since I've been a year this week that I posted the dating thread that got me to here in the first place. So I'll probably be doing a full show on that on Tuesday and all that. So yeah, guys. And what else? I don't even know. Yeah, that's all I have. All right, guys. Have a good one and stay safe out there.